Good evening, good evening. This is Marie Holiday, and today is Friday, January 15th, 2021. And I hope everybody had a fabulous week this week. Before we get started, I want to just remind everyone to please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification button. Help my channel reach its end of January goal of 100 subscribers. I'm currently at 74 subscribers strong, and I want to thank my 74 subscribers for hitting that subscribe button and being a part of my channel 100 subscriber milestone that we will meet. And also, please share my YouTube channel to one person you know and get them to subscribe. So with that being said, let's get down to business. The focus of this lecture is going to be, do you want to stop your gambling addiction? Do you want to stop your gambling addiction? And ladies and gentlemen, as by me being a licensed clinical addiction specialist, I specialize in working with people with alcoholism, drug addiction, gambling addiction. I'm here to tell you those type of addictions are a hidden addiction until it blows out of control, and I'm here to tell you. So it may even be people who are listening to these topics who are suffering from gambling addiction, alcohol, or drug addiction, or you may know someone who's in that situation. So please pass this information along. And with that being said, let's get down to business. Before I go into 5 tips on what a person can do to stop gambling addiction, first of all, it's no secret. If a person has gambling addiction, they probably already know inside of them what they need to do. But sometimes it also helps to listen to an ejected person, but at the same time, you got to be receptive to hear what you're listening to. But before I go into those 5 tips, let me first say this. The first thing that must happen is you got to understand the problem. You can't fix something you don't understand. You must learn about the issue and admit you got a gambling problem. And I'm here to tell you. So before I go into those 5 tips, I just want to just briefly share with the audience what exactly is gambling addiction. In a nutshell, what gambling addiction is, it is a powerful need to gamble with larger amounts of money. Also, the person may have feelings of restlessness or irritability when not gambling. The gambler may have made repeated and unsuccessful attempts to quit gambling, but it don't last. There's also preoccupation with gambling. And what I mean by preoccupation with gambling, the person is always thinking about ways to devise ways to get more money in order to gamble. The gambler will also gamble in order to manage stress and depression. And when they continue that gambling, it increases the stress and depression. Also, the gambler will continue to gamble to get even, to chase the losses. They're going to lose, win, lose again. It's like a vicious cycle. Also, the gambler will lie to friends and coworkers and loved ones about the severity of their gambling addiction. The gambler will also have, at this stage of game in their gambling addiction, you're going to begin to see damage and lost relationships because of the gambling and lies and manipulation. The gambler will also need financial support because of gambling in order to borrow money to pay bills. So those are just some indicators of gambling addiction to give you a little bit more insight on what it is. So with that being said, let's get down to 5 tips to stop gambling addiction. Number 1, and I'm going to just keep it simple. You got to join a support group. Know that you have to join a support group because people who go to Gambling Anonymous, they recognize the problem. You can seek assistance from these Gambling Anonymous support group and to be able to gain knowledge from people who are suffering from the same type of gambling addiction. So Gambling Anonymous is a group maintained by people with similar experiences. Although these Gambling Anonymous support groups, they like professional intervention, but they are free to join. And there's a whole lot of 1-800 hotlines out there that will give you information on where they hold these Gambling Anonymous groups at. Number 2. In addition to attending Gambling Anonymous group, another option, the gambler can seek professional help. If your gambling is severe, consider seeking professional help as soon as possible. Professional treatment from an addiction specialist could be the difference between a life of financial destruction for 2021 versus living in financial stability in 2021. You know, with these are therapists who specialize in treating gambling and alcohol and drug addiction. They got the credentials to work with people in individual counseling groups to give them the skills to make a behavior change. Number 3 tip that is very important for the gambler: you got to come out of hiding. I'm here to tell you. And self-disclose your gambling addiction to family and loved ones in order to gain more support, because family members really do want to see you get better. Number 4. Find alternatives to gambling. Find healthy alternatives to gambling by replacing gambling behaviors, because when you take something away, when you take a behavior away, you got to replace it with something. So find healthy alternatives by replacing the gambling behavior with positive ones. By doing this will shift your focus away from those high-risk behaviors with the gambling addiction. So you're going to get rid of the old and you're going to replace it with the new. Some gambling alternatives could include physical activity, going for walks, weightlifting, team sports, meditation, spending more time with family and friends who do not gamble, volunteering at a hospital or animal shelter, or exploring new hobbies or revisiting old hobbies. Tip number 5. Turn your gambling addiction over to your God, to your understanding. So have faith in God and ask God to pull you away from this brainwashing that occurs inside of the gambling establishments, the casinos, the sweepstake facilities, the gambling houses. And what I mean by brainwashing that occurs is the lights, the sound, the sights, the sensation, the fantasy to win money are all ingredients to a form of brainwashing, which leads to the addiction, which leads to the psychological addiction and the mental obsession. And if you check out my prior videos, I talk in depth and breadth on why psychological addiction is so powerful, because there's 3 components of it. You know, you got the relationship with the gambling, you got the psychological defenses, and you got preoccupation. So gambling addiction, you can turn it over to your God or your understanding. So ladies and gentlemen, those are the 5 powerful tips on how to stop gambling addiction. Real quick, first of all, you must understand that there's a problem. Join a support group and attain a sponsor. Seek professional help. Come out of hiding. Find alternatives to gambling and turn it over to God. So with that being said, I hope you got something out of this. Don't forget to hit my subscribe button, hit my notification button. And like I said, it's time to break that cycle of gambling addiction for 2021, to reclaim your livelihood, to reclaim your life, to reclaim your financial freedom, and all of the above. So with that being said, I will see the audience again next time. And don't forget, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. Simplify. Have a great evening.